Hey there YouTube, Doc's Motorcycle Service, rawr, 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 rawr. So welcome back to the garage. This is going to be a little bit of a review video and where do we go from here video. For those that have been keeping up with the this series of videos, and for those that have maybe just stumbled upon this video here. We're working on Hot Donna. She's a 1986 Harley-Davidson Heritage Softail, and we got started on her back in February of this year after the electrical system went out on it, and the owner was like, you know what, now is the time to do everything that I wanted to do to this bike. And we sort of thought it would go a little quickly, but it didn't because of COVID and how COVID has affected businesses. Some of them closing completely, others slowing down production. I mean, you can't blame a parts store if the manufacturer has slowed production, and you can't blame the production people if the suppliers of the materials have slowed down their production because of COVID. So you really can't be angry about it, and that brings me to a mental tip. You know, when you're delving into something, it's nice to have a timeline, but you're not always going to be able to get that situated. You're not always going to be able to follow it. You'll go off on the weeds doing some stuff like some of the sidebar videos that we've done here. Like we did one on an electrical system, charging system. We did one on an 1157 bulb. We did one on the lowering kit for the front end of Hot Donna. And we did one for a turn signal mount. I'll have links of these popping up here for you to go take a look at. But basically where we're at right now, the electrical system is complete. The wires have all been completed on this thing. Everything's in good shape with the exception of attaching the wires to the motor. And it really doesn't make sense for us to have another electrical video on that. We'll just cover those things as we go. We got the rear end of the bike to button up, which is going to be the swing arm, the brake caliper mounting bracket, which we've had all chromed. Had a little bit of a problem with the oil tank on Hot Donna getting it chromed. We ran into a problem with some dippling there on the chrome when we finally got it back, so we had to send that back in to have that taken care of. We got the transmission, and we've got the swing arm, and we've got the shocks and all that stuff over there, but really can't do anything until you get to the motor. And I just spoke with the guy who's doing the motor work, and he said he should have that to me in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. So we're going to be going forward, we're going to be doing some interesting little videos. We're going to show you how to put the bearings in the swing arm and get the swing arm in the rear end of the bike. But before we do that, we're going to do a little thing with the front wheel. And we're going to hold off putting the swing arm in because we're going to use the swing arm to help us with that. We have the cabling to put on the front of the bike, the clutch cable, the throttle cables, the front brake cable to get put in, and of course we got the rear end. Basically, going forward, we just have bolt-on stuff, and that's where we're at. If you're keeping up with the timeline, this is October 31st, 2020, Halloween, and we're doing pretty good with it. You know, again, sometimes you run into things that you didn't plan about, and you have to deal with those. Again, if you're following along, you know I don't like wiring. I hate wiring. I don't hate wiring, but I dislike messing with wiring a lot, simply because so much can go wrong with wiring. If you hook up something the wrong way and you blow a fuse, that's one thing. If you blow a relay, that's something else. But in any case, we got it completely all done, and very happy with it. It looks great. It looks really good. It was a challenge, so go back and watch that video if you can. So yeah, basically right now, going forward, we're just doing the bolt-on stuff. We're waiting for the motor to come back. We're waiting for the oil tank to come back. And as I've said all along, these things are a puzzle. You can put them together any way you want to put them together, but there's a right way and the best way. For example, we want to put the oil tank in first because we'll have more clearance to do that. Then we'll put the transmission in. And we can't tighten up the shocks on the rear end until we get the motor in, because the motor is the pivotal point for this thing. The motor has to be situated where it should be situated. Then the transmission bolts to the motor. Then the outer primary bolts to both of those. And then we start putting our belt drive back on. But we can't put the belt drive back on until we get the belt over the rear drive, which has to come in with the rear wheel, which has to come in with the swing arm. So we're working our way through it. I appreciate you following along with us. And we got 3 other videos that we're going to start today while we're waiting on the motor to get done and the oil tank to get done. So I'm going to get started on those now. So as always, I appreciate you coming by here and hanging out with us at the garage. Real quick, check out the Facebook page. As I've said before, it's just a better place to post a comment, answer a question, put a picture up, and get involved. YouTube is kind of funny with my account for some reason. I don't get notifications for questions for about 2 or 3 days, so swing on over there. Again, check out the advertisements, let them play out a little bit. As I've said before, I don't make a lot of money off of this, but the money that I do make comes back into the garage and comes back to you in the form of a purchase of a new part or a new tool that I'm going to do a review on. And also, we're going to be doing a review on some lighting. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the lighting is a lot better in the garage. So we're going to try to take care of that as well. So as always, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you can see the next video. And yeah, appreciate you coming by. So YouTube, ride safe, handle your business, and save some money. And